Hey everybody, it's Uncle Reddit. Welcome to an episode of Malicious Compliance, where people get exactly what they ask for. Please remember to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy. Our next story comes to us from user the Nerdy Mupton. You want every email that's addressed to you to arrive at your inbox? You got it, pal. Just happened. My bosses and I are still laughing. We are a small IT company. We manage quite a few clients, though. This one gentleman in one of our busier client sites says that he's tired of being told his emails never arrive to him. We look it up, and yes, a couple of legit emails got tangled up in the spam filter. No big deal. We whitelist the sender and release the message. Nope, not good enough for this guy. He calls back screaming, "I order you to let any email addressed to me come to my inbox." I advise him that I'm going to have to transfer him to IT security, and he's going to have to, on a recorded line, say he understands and accepts responsibility for yada yada yada. See, I did that because these guys get thousands of spam emails a day. A while back, several folks, this guy included, decided to give their email address and password to some unsavory website. Then did it again, and again, and again. So now, they easily get 15 to 20 plus messages an hour to the entire organization. So he accepts, saying he just wants all his emails to go to him. We allow all messages to him to bypass the spam filter. 3 hours later, he has over 100 new emails, and they keep coming in. He calls back, furious, asking why his spam filter isn't working. "Sir, you asked that all email addresses to you arrive at your inbox." Update. So right around 4:45 p.m. today, he's calling our office and the call gets routed to me since I own the ticket. He's livid, shouting so loud my coworkers on the opposite side of the room can hear him. "Whatever you did to my email, I want put back to the way it was. You effed up my email and now I can't get any work done because my stupid notifications are going off every second." I calmly reply, "Absolutely. I'll go ahead and turn your spam filtering back on and all these emails will stop." "Good. It's what you should have done in the first place." At the end of it all, nothing changed and he's happy. God, I love IT work. Edit. To the few of you who have, and the many more that will, seeing as how this picked up a little more steam than I was expecting, commented saying I should be fired, chill. I'm lucky enough to be at a place that values their employees enough to know that we do not deserve the kind of verbal abuse this guy slings out. A lot of jobs I've been at would have handed me my walking papers the moment I didn't immediately pleasure this guy before finding out what his name was. Between me and the security team, we told him at least 4 times that this exact thing would happen, and he said on a recorded line, "I don't care." I take care of my customers and my boss has enabled me to do a darn good job. I believe that's why our company is experiencing very good growth right now. Relax. Final edit. I had to. I logged into our system this morning from home and listened to the recording. It's glorious. Here's the highlights. Security. "So, OP tells me you're looking to turn off the spam filter." Client. "I don't even get spam. I'm paying you people for something I don't even need." Security. "It's not an added cost, but you're not getting spam because you have a spam filter. If I turn that off, you're going to get flooded with spam emails." Client. "I don't care. I've given you guys an order and I expect it to be done." Security. "I just need you to be aware that without the spam filter, you're open to getting every spam email that comes to you. Some of which may be malicious and could open you up to viruses, malware, and all sorts of software that could compromise your entire network. By going against our suggestions, you understand that, our company, cannot be held liable for any malicious software that makes it into your network, infects any of your systems, or causes any system downtime, and that you're claiming sole responsibility for that. Do you understand this?" Client. "Yeah, whatever. Just get it done so I can get off this call." Security. "Sir, I really need to reiterate how much we cannot recommend this action. You're going to get..." Client. "I don't care. Do what I tell you." Security. "Okay, I'll have OP remove you from the default spam rule, and you'll start receiving any email sent to you. Again, it's going to be a lot. The spam filter actually does catch a lot of spam." Client. "I don't care. Just do it." "Okay then, thank you and have a good day." Click. Edit. The things I get gilded for on Reddit. Thank you for the gold, kind stranger. Wow, OP. Not only are you dedicated to your job, you are extremely dedicated to this thread. Our next story was posted by Picklerick12321. Do as I say, I know your boss. So today I was training staff in the safe use of medication. I have a student turn up an hour and a half late. I politely informed said student that unfortunately they arrived too late to attend the session, as I would not be able to catch them up on the vital information they had already missed. I do always try where I can, but that much time is just too much for what I was teaching. It is not a subject you can skimp on. The conversation went something like this. Student: I don't see why you can't just catch me up during the breaks. Me: because they're also my breaks. Student: so that's not my fault. Me: unfortunately it is your fault. You're late and I'm not willing to give up my lunch break. Student: I know your boss, so maybe you should just let me take my seat and either catch me up during break or at the end of the session. Or do I need to ring your boss and tell you that? So now, for MC, I tell the student to go ahead and ring my boss, which the student does. My student starts ranting at my boss, and after about a minute, my boss asks the student to put me on. I take the phone, look at the student dead in the eye as I say, "Hey mom, what's up?" Honestly, I think I saw this guy crap himself. I explained to my mom what he's been going on, and she asks to put back on with the student. 30 seconds later, he's packing his stuff and apologizing deeply. I'm a health and social care lecturer. I train part-time and during holidays to supplement my income for my mother's training company. Turns out she did know him and not only tore him a new one professionally but personally as well. This woman raised 6 boys on her own. And our next post comes from InternetFox7. We'll just switch to the hot site. Too long didn't read. Emergency Preparedness Committee thought that any computer network emergency could be solved by activating an off-site backup facility. They ignored warnings about the time and effort needed to make the switch. When they were finally required to do so, they couldn't even find the building. I once worked in the IT department for a company that managed some utilities and infrastructure. They had multiple facilities throughout their state and some extensive redundancy measures in place to keep the buildings connected in case of an emergency. One of the most important of these measures was their hot site, a backup facility that housed a replica of their computer network infrastructure. The hot site was located in a separate building from the main data center, so even if the main building was knocked offline, the hot site would still be available to take over operations. Of course, simply having the equipment and policies to recover from an emergency aren't enough, so the company also had an emergency preparedness committee with representatives from several key departments. The committee held regular simulated emergency drills wherein a member would write and direct an emergency scenario, and the others would rehearse the process of recovering from it. The IT department's contributions to these activities were frequently marginalized by the rest of the committee, who firmly believed that the only appropriate way to handle any computer problem was to just activate the hot site. After all, it is a complete functional replica of our main systems. Why bother doing anything else when the problem can be instantly solved by simply plugging in a different computer? Well, the thing is that switching to our hot site was easier said than done. Think of it like the spare tire in your car. It's there if you need it, but it doesn't automatically replace a flat tire. You need to spend some time and effort to take the old one off and put the new one on. And once you finish your road trip, you generally want to get the tire properly replaced rather than continuing to use the spare. And if you're having engine problems, you don't solve it by putting on a different tire, and so on. The point is that a hot site doesn't solve every problem, and even if it does, switching to ours in particular would take some time. The IT representatives explained it every time, but were always ignored. Finally, one of the network engineers was selected to lead one of the emergency drills, and this guy was fed up with everybody else always suggesting the hot site as a solution. Once the committee had taken their seats to hear what crisis they would be averting that day, the network engineer informed them that the building they currently occupied had just been demolished by a storm, and none of the computer systems there remained. Time to activate the hot site. He grabbed his stuff from the table and left the building. At that moment, all of the other departments realized that they had no clue how to even get to the hot site. The other IT representatives, being directly responsible for the upkeep of the facility, knew where to go, and were out the door only moments after the network engineer. Everybody else was considerably less prepared to relocate to a different building. If they had looked out the window as the IT people left, they might have seen which direction they had turned out of the parking lot, but nothing more. After all, the hot site is designed to be isolated from anything that would damage the main facility, so it's located a fair distance away. The last of the Emergency Preparedness Committee had arrived several hours after the IT department had all arrived on site. Not wanting to admit that they had no clue where they were going, they had no better option than to drive from one maintenance building to the next across the state, hoping that their next destination happened to house the backup facility. By this point, the drill had taken much longer than the schedule had originally allowed, and the network engineer called it off, noting that the site would probably be just about ready to be brought online if they had actually bothered to start setting it up. They didn't, of course, since that would have disrupted the entire network. The IT department wasn't allowed to direct another drill for quite some time after that, but at least everybody else was much more reluctant to suggest the hot site as a catch-all solution. Edit. Removed an ambiguity about driving around to random buildings in the state, and removed an overgeneralization about activating hot sites. Our next post comes to us from You Save the Center. Put the king-size mattress into a box to return? You got it. I saw a ULPT about trying mattresses from online retailers and then returning them. ULPT said they would just have to donate it. So I went online and ordered a few king-size mattresses to try out while they were on sale for Black Friday. They were the bed-in-a-box things that come super compressed and you open them and they fully extend. The first one was okay, but after a few weeks we could already feel the springs. So I started to return it. UPS comes to pick it up and says they can't take it because it isn't in a box. Anyone who's ordered a mattress online knows there is no way to get one of these beds back into its box. So I decided to make my own. I saved up my boxes for a few weeks, and this weekend I opened them all up and started duct taping them together. Then I laid my king-size mattress on top and pieced together boxes across the top and wrapped them around the edges. I now have a 6-foot by 7-foot box waiting for UPS. Update. They took the box without issue. I helped him load it in the truck. He was super nice. Pictures of the box in the comments. And here's a picture of the box. Genius. Good job, OP. Alright everyone, I hope you're having a great day and that you've enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. And keep a lookout for more of these little gems from Reddit. So long!